It is Wednesday, y'all, which means it is WWE Day here on Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast, the hottest new podcast in the wrestling world, maybe in all of the podcast world. I mean, I'll just say it. I'll just say it. As always, I'm Mr. MWO, and with me is the third member of the Tag Team Champions, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's going on?
Oh, it was a crazy weekend in the world of wrestling. There was a lot of wrestling. So now we get to talk about it all. So that'll be fun.
Yes, it will. And we had a lot. I mean, Friday we have a lot going on, but we had a WWE pay-per-view, an NXT pay-per-view, a Friday night SmackDown, a Monday night Raw, an NXT. We had a Double or Nothing AEW event. Now we got a Rampage. We got to watch AEW Dynamite tonight. We got all sorts of things going on.
Tony Khan has a big announcement tonight, so this will be 3 weeks.
Oh, is this finally CM Punk, or is he going to talk about how MJF embarrassed him at the press conference? Did you see that? It was like we can talk about it on Friday, but talk about something that's not planned but super awkward.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be the Punk reveal, or it's something about Collision on June the 17th. So.
Yeah, I don't know if they, like I said, I think Punk should be a secret, but but today what we're going to do is that we're going to skip SmackDown, but we'll brief it really quick, and then we'll go into Night of Champions, Battleground, Raw, and NXT. So we'll do all that with you guys today, pick our favorite things or our least favorite things, whatever things that popped up to mind. But on SmackDown, the big thing was Jimmy Uso came out with Jay and cut a promo to KO and Sammy, and KO was poking the bear and poking the bear and poking the bear. So Jimmy finally was like, heck no. When it comes to the Usos, I'm the tribal chief. And literally probably the scariest walk it was kind of like when you do something wrong and then you hear your dad come in and you can see him walking towards you like I effed up. That's how Roman had that walk. He didn't do any, the music hit, but he walked straight and he got in Jay's face first and then got corrected and then got in Jimmy's face. Like he was like, it's your fault kind of, and then got in Jim. But oh man, I did think, me and you texted about this, and I know you defended it because I said, I think the Bloodline thing's been kind of weird because it was like Jimmy was the fun one and then Jay didn't like him and then Jay was with Sammy and then but Jimmy and Sammy were like best friends. But as soon as Sammy hit him with the chair, Jimmy was the first one to beat the snot out of him. And then Jay was like, oh no, but I like Sammy now. They're just and then it was like Jay and Roman the entire time because Jay disappeared and now Jay's loving him and now Jimmy doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just building that they're both just fed up. But Jimmy calling himself the tribal chief, though, I was a little caught off guard because I would always think if I was going to pick a tribal chief, it's going to be Jey Uso. So I'm curious on where this is going, but that led us into Night of Champions. So really quick, did you like that segment? Did you think it was cool? I mean, did you like him walking down? And I mean, it was a good build to what happened at Night of Champions.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was really good. I thought, the Roman walk certainly it wasn't. Yeah, he didn't do any of his poses. Normally, his entrance takes like 20 minutes. You can go get a drink and eat a cheeseburger while you wait for him to make. He's not even halfway down the ramp yet. But this time, I mean, he wasn't playing around. And then the one thing too was he kind of shoulder checked Solo, and Solo kind of stared at him and was like, "Hold up now." And Roman even looked apologetic, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
And it was an accidental when he was walking out of the ring. He bumped him and then was like, and Solo was like, "Nuh-uh." And Roman looked like he was scared. And I don't know if that has to do with the elders or if Solo is just that guy. It was kind of, is it hinting at stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought it was a good final. I mean, the SmackDown was pre-taped, so it felt because they were doing Saudi press conferences the morning that SmackDown was on. So it was pre-taped the week before, but I thought it was a good go-home show for Night of Champions. It got me excited about it, and then all the shenanigans with KO and Sammy at ringside too. It was all good stuff. I thought it was all good stuff.
I agree. And so let's go into Night of Champions, where we won't be talking about the Bloodline first, but they had 3 main events, and in our 4 picks tonight, we will be talking about all 3 of them. And I'll do the first one, the opening match. Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles for the vacant, brand new World Heavyweight Championship belt. It's not the WWE World Heavyweight Champ. It's like just the World Heavyweight Champion. I don't, because they're trying to change the name so it's not the old one, right? I don't know. Either way, we had the match. We had Mr. SmackDown himself versus Mr. Raw for the Raw Heavyweight title. They did mention, though, during the match that if AJ Styles won, he would go to Monday Night Raw. Corey Graves basically told Michael Cole, well, duh, like he was not nice about it. He was like, obviously.
He did that anyway when he lost.
Yeah, and then he ended up joining. I don't know what's happening. We'll talk about that on Raw. But I thought it was, okay. I like the AEW feel to it, that they opened with this match. That's what AEW does, right? Always open with like your best match, right? I said Trish and Lynch would be the best match, but I think this ended up being the best match if you don't count the main event because of the ending. But this was probably the best overall match. They have great chemistry. The near falls were crazy. There was a lot of times where you thought Seth was going to win, ton of times where you thought AJ was actually going to win. The crowd was into it. The Saudi crowd was hot, man. We've had some, dude, WWE needs to get the heck out of America. America has like 2 places that like the crowd is hot. Like anytime they go anywhere in the world, the crowd, and maybe it's because you don't get it all the time, right? But still, man, like, woo, that Saudi crowd. It wasn't as live as Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was, maybe it's because it's small. I don't know, but that Saudi crowd, man, they brought it. They were like into everything, big time. But I thought this match was good, and Seth freaking Rollins gets the win. I think it was the right person who should have got the win. I like the ending, the handshake, whatever. I like it all. I like the way they did it. I thought it was weird that we had a triple main event, and one was like at the beginning, one was in the middle, one was at the end. Usually when it's main events, they're all at the end. You just have them like back to back to back. But I guess they didn't want to do that. People need to go get drinks and food. So I like seeing Seth win it right off the bat and started off the show hot, and we knew what to look forward to the rest of the night. So good match.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid opener. I made the argument that this should have closed the show.
Yes, you did.
I understand why it didn't, considering what happened there at the end with Roman Reigns, but I was in the camp that it should close the show, just because you're trying to prove to everyone that it's not a quote unquote consolation prize or you can't beat Roman Reigns belt. So here's an opportunity to really highlight it and show how great it can be by ending the show. But I understand why they opened it, and it was a good opener. And I think the right person won. Some of the commentary was a little weird though. Like Michael Cole was talking about, he was talking about the design of the title, and was talking about like the McMahon family crest, and he was like, there's an eagle on this title, and all I see is a lion. Or some sort of cat. I don't know if it's a lion or like a cougar or a panther, but I don't see an eagle on there at all. But
no, is that the McMahon crest, the lion? Maybe people can let us know. I don't know. I think that's what it is. And they talked about Bruno too, that it was also paying homage to Bruno Sammartino. Isn't that who they said? Or
I think, yeah. And it was just like, but I don't know. But then they showed the title while they're doing this, and they didn't really highlight any of that stuff. So, but I thought, I mean, the match itself was good. I thought, Seth Rollins was the right one to win. AJ, I like AJ, but I'm glad that Seth is the champ, and I think Seth is going to be a fighting champ. I think he's going to be. I think this run with him holding a world title is going to be different than his last time holding a world championship, where the fans turned on him 2 months into it. I think he's super over right now. He's super hot, and I think Triple H will do him right with the booking and everything.
Oh, I think he's going to be great. I'm looking forward to who he wrestles next, and his outfit was out of this world. So he definitely brought it for the side. He's like, the girls can't dress up, then I will. He came out like rocking his stuff. So I think I know what you're going to talk about next.
Oh yeah. The infamous Cody Rhodes.
What do you want to talk about?
That guy. Cody freaking Rhodes. And Brock Lesnar. The second of the 3 main events that took place, we just talked about the one that took place at the beginning. This one took place in the middle, and then we'll talk about the one that ended the show as well. But I got to say, this match, I know a lot of people enjoyed this. I thought it was stupid. I thought the whole thing from start to finish was completely dumb. The finish was weird, with Cody Rhodes not tapping out from a a lock that's not like a sleeper hold or anything. It was like what's it, the Kimura lock or something?
Kimura, yeah.
And it was like his arm. I get you can pass out from being in so much pain, and I get that, but I don't know. It just felt felt weird. It just felt like, and then commentary, just they were slobbing all over Cody Rhodes, and I just talking about how he never gives up. And so a couple of things when we made these predictions last week, I thought like some of these matches that occurred kind of went everything that happened, but they all happened in different matches than what I predicted. So I thought this match, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, was going to be a complete and utter squash.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, the squash match went to Rhea Ripley and Natalya.
Yeah.
This match was actually competitive, and they kind of gave Cody Rhodes the underdog treatment, which is what I thought they were going to give to Ali against Gunther. They were, he's going to be the guy who never gives up and he keeps kicking out. Gunther gets frustrated, and that's what I predicted last week. And that was that was an okay match, but they gave that treatment to Cody Rhodes, where he's the guy with one arm and he's going up against the Beast. But the biggest thing that really turned me off in this match was the cast on his arm. Michael Cole made a huge point to say that cast is made out of solid titanium, and then it was like 5 minutes into the match, and Cody Rhodes kind of looks at his arm and is like, and even then, like Michael Cole is like, Cody Rhodes just realized that he could use this as a weapon. I'm just like, really? He realized that 5 minutes into the match? Like, that would have been the first thing I thought of when they were putting that thing on my arm.
100%.
Like, oh, okay. Like now, oh yeah, everyone thinks I'm at a disadvantage. I got titanium right here. I'm like Wolverine over here with my my claws. Like I'm gonna just bust him in the head with this.
And
then it was just so like Cody Rhodes. He's getting we'll probably talk about this a little bit on Raw too, but he even mentioned that he mentioned John Cena in his promo. He's getting the never give up attitude. He's getting the John Cena treatment. Nothing can stop him. He keeps kicking out of everything. He doesn't quit. He didn't tap out. He just passed out. So he lost the match. But I don't know. This match, I didn't care for it at all. I thought commentary was too much. And then the whole idea that he's at a disadvantage when he has a titanium, which that cast was not titanium, by the way.
There might be like little bars in it, maybe was like holding it in, but that thing was like literally a soft like cat.
And just I don't know. I guess the match was okay, but and Brock won, so I think this means this thing is going to keep going. But it was I don't know, the story in this match. Like I'm ready for this thing to be done. I don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. I see a lot of people saying they loved it. I didn't get it. I'm not saying that means I'm right. I'm just saying I didn't get it. Did they have Cody get hurt just so he can take the L? Like they were like, Brock's like, I have to win one, lose one, win one. So or lose one, win one, lose one. So I had to, basically have an excuse for Cody to take the L. It was really, really confusing because, okay, here's the thing too with hey, my boy wrestling guy, complete crap.
He lives.
Completely right. I miss wrestling guy. But yeah, man, for one, the cast, okay, he fell on it like twice and was like in utter pain. And then he hit Brock with it once, and Michael Cole, brought up the fact that he can hit him with it. And then he continued to pummel him with it, and he wasn't in pain ever. Like that felt perfectly good. And then he did his finishing on him a couple times. And when he hit his arm, he was in pain again. When he did his finisher on him, he really passed out from a joint lock. I'm not sure that's how that works. Thank you, Patrick. Yes. Another man who watches MMA with me. It is not how it works. It was so stupid. And they said he passed out from exhaustion. He gave it too much. It was why couldn't Brock choke him out? He does like he does the guillotine choke on people. Like, why not just choke? Because they had to do the arm thing. I don't know. It was so stupid. So stupid. Also, another dumb thing is wrestling, or at least WWE, really needs to make up its damn mind on how tap outs work and how being out works. Because I've seen them recently do the 1, 2, And now Cody just got one, and they're like, all right, he's like, I'm so like, is it one? Is it three? Is it double taps? If you only tap once, are you good? Like, we got to stay consistent here. But the match was dumb. It was unnecessary. It was so Brock can get a win. So Cody, are they just doing this whole underdog? Like, why? John Cena and Cody, do not make Cody Rhodes John Cena. They're already doing it. He's saying his catchphrases. Now he's like the underdog and coming back. I didn't dig it. I thought this wasn't a good push. And I thought the casting was dumb because he literally,
it was
sometimes and wasn't hurt the other times. It was dumb. And he passed out due to pain. So
can we stop with the injury story to Cody already? Like,
yeah,
I'm over it. I don't want to see it anymore. You let the man wrestle with a torn pec at Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins when he was legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
And now Cody Rhodes is coming into this match with a broken arm, and Cody's not medically cleared. He wasn't medically cleared at Backlash, and he took out a bunch of security guards, and he's not medically cleared at Night of Champions. And like, when is the man going to be medically cleared? Can we stop with the storyline injuries to Cody Rhodes? Because I'm over it at this point too. Like, let's give him something else.
I agree with you. But when we talk about a match that made no sense and had a stupid ending, let's talk about the last two matches that we're going to talk about, which were great matches that had amazing endings. I'm going to start off with the goddess herself, my future wife, Miss Trish Stratus, versus Becky Lynch. By the way, Patrick was texting me all day about how he was in love with Becky Lynch's little Kill Bill outfit. He was digging it. He thought it was very risque for the Saudi crowd. I mean, she did have like Camel Toe City, but and it was kind of see-through. But
there was a to that point, there was a part where her leg was showing, and I was wondering, like, she's showing skin. Like, is she going to get in trouble in Saudi?
Are you talking about the bottom, right? Because she had her sock, because she didn't have the pants go all the way down. She like had long socks, but it was showing skin. I wondered that.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Is she gonna get, or is this like a wardrobe malfunction? Or is this part of do they understand because she's like exerting herself in a ring and of course it's gonna come down? But I noticed that. I was like, I wonder if she's gonna get in trouble for that.
But see, I don't know. Yes, I love the Kill Bill. The Kill Bill gear, I love the Kill Bill gear, and Trish Stratus's gear too. I told you, like, I was like, if she's not gonna show anything, see, Patrick loved it. Yeah, it was amazing. But if you're not gonna show anything, then you might as well make it as tight as possible. And we'll talk about how Trish made it a little bit nicer on Monday Night Raw. No, if you are a female and you go to Saudi Arabia, you don't have to cover yourself up. So I don't know if they're that hardcore about it. I think WWE is just covering them up as like a deal, as, it's a woman representing or getting money off of it, so they have to. Like, if me, you, and our wives or whoever went to, like, they don't have to be covered up. The girls who go with us, I don't think that's like you can for like a cultural thing, but I don't think it's like mandatory in Saudi that anybody who goes there is. Didn't Sex and the City go to Saudi Arabia? Isn't that in one of the movies? And they were like in bikinis and I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll ask Patrick. He watches Sex and the City. But anyway, let's talk about the match. I actually thought we have to remember here, this was Trish's first singles match since the 90s or early 2000s. They said when it was.
I think,
and I know,
2000s,
and I know she's the GOAT. I know she's the female greatest of all time. Thank you, Trish. But I was very impressed with how well she did this match. I know Becky Lynch is a pro, and so that helps. And when you have somebody like Becky Lynch doing it, it'll get you there. But like, holy cow, this match I thought was really, really good. There was a few mishaps and stuff like that, but for someone who hasn't wrestled in like 20 years, she did fantastic. And I was watching this match because we all knew Trish had to win, right? Trish had to win. You got to keep this going until SummerSlam. Where was it going to go? And all of a sudden, out comes from the ring Zoe Starks. And for those of you who don't know, she was money in NXT. She was never the champion, but she was one of those people that should have been. They were just never, she was just there to like enhance everybody. I always thought she was ahead of the game at NXT. I thought she was always the most pro ready to move over. And I think she showed that. She busted Becky Lynch's nose up, threw her back into the ring. Trish hit her with the Stratusfaction and game over. Trish wins. How bad are you loving this duo, and how bad do they need a name? Because obviously we'll talk about it on Raw too, but did you like this ending? Are you all for it? Becky getting punked by both. It gives Becky something to do now because obviously she'll feud with Zoe Starks instead of Trish. So now we can get Trish and Becky to SummerSlam, right? It gives us like a little bit of a break. And Zoe Stark, win or lose, man, you're a star if you're going to wrestle Becky Lynch. So
yeah, yeah, I thought this was the perfect thing to do for Zoe Stark. She gets the automatic rub from not just working with Becky, but also partnering with Trish, and that tells me that they think she's money. They think that she's a star in the making. If you didn't watch NXT, you may not be too familiar with her, but she is great in the ring, on the mic, and I think Triple H. To me, this is a perfect example of how to use a good call up, and I think this is where Triple H does a great job with the NXT people because he communicates. You can tell he communicates with Shawn Michaels, and you can tell he watches the NXT product, and he's like, okay, I see potential in her. I see potential in this guy. I see potential in him. And he's not reinventing their character like Vince McMahon would have done, or, you got to come in here and we're going to change your name and you're going to shave your head and we're going to make you look, you're going to be a bear cat when you're talking about Keith Lee. So, he Triple H continued, he brought them over in their original character in NXT, and I think it works perfectly. But yeah, I didn't see it coming either. That was the thing. I was like, who the heck is helping Trish Stratus? At first I was like, that's not Lita, because she's helping her. And and then it was Zoe Starks. I thought it was a perfect way to really elevate her without putting her in the women's title picture, because it's not time for her to feud with Rhea yet, because that means one of them has to lose, and neither one of them need to lose. So I think this was the perfect opportunity and the perfect place to put her. And I think it's going to be great. I really do. I think Trish and Zoe together are going to be on point. And I think Becky and Zoe's match is going to be great. Becky looked legitimately mad after that match, though, because she was bleeding. And it kind of reminded me when Nia Jax broke her nose in the ring. She had blood coming out of her face, and I hope there's no backstage heat on Zoe Stark or even Trish Stratus. I don't think Trish did it, but I think it was Zoe.
No, it was Zoe on her finisher. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope there's no backstage heat on her for that. I don't know if there was a botch. I don't know if it's just one of those things that happened, or if Becky just bit her tongue and it just, blood just started pouring out that way or what. But, yeah, other than that, I thought it was great.
Yeah. And I don't think so, because Stark's put in work again on Monday Night Raw, which we'll talk about. So I don't think so. But yeah, man. All right. Let's talk about what everybody wants to know. What's your last one, huh?
The Bloodline. The Bloodline, or the Bloodline? I mean, what is happening? Because so we had the main event, and I got to say, Sami Zayn's entrance, that was emotional, and you could tell the outfit he had on, he had tears in his eyes when he got out there. Kevin Owens was happy for him. There was a part too, and I texted you about this, but there was a part where Roman Reigns, while Sami was about to cut his promo, Roman Reigns was kind of like, what was he doing? Like looking around, like, and then he had this big smile on his face.
Huge smile, yeah.
You could tell he was still trying to stay in character, but you could tell the smile was a legit smile. Like, I'm happy for this guy. So it was all great. And the match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman and Solo Sikoa. I mean, it was a fight. It was a brawl, and Roman was the great heel in that match. Solo was the great enforcer. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fed off of the crowd. Sami is super over, and we talk a lot about Kevin Owens being a national treasure. Sami Zayn's a national treasure too. We got to give that man in Montreal cut a promo in French, and then he can cut promos in English, and now he's cutting promos in Arabic. I mean, this man, he can do it all. He literally can do it all, and he's great in the ring. And he came up with some of the great catchphrases in 2022 with "Feeling Usi" and "Honorary Us," and this man, yeah, Sami Zayn he's a gem, and nothing should keep him, book him to the moon and back. Like, this man is a he's a phenomenal wrestler in the WWE and a phenomenal ambassador. And I was happy to see him finally be able to safely compete in Saudi Arabia.
For sure.
But like I said, the match itself was great. It was your typical match where I'm sure the Roman critics probably despised it because, it's the same thing over and over. The referee gets taken out, and then out come the Usos, and the Usos start beating up Sammy and Kevin Owens, and then they hit double super kicks. They were gonna hit a double super kick on Sammy, but Sammy got out of the way, and they hit Solo Sikoa. And that's when Roman Reigns popped up at ringside, and that's what he saw. And then he climbed into the ring, and he starts, yelling at Jay. Why he always goes after Jay, I don't know. But
because they have beef. Yeah, I guess that's like,
He was like, he was yelling at Jay like, "This, get out of the ring! I told you I didn't want you here. You're supposed to be at home." He was just yelling at him, and like, he was so upset. He was legitimately mad. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy just randomly, or after he mushes Jay a couple of times, he shoves Jimmy.
He shoves Jay, and then he shoves Jimmy,
and then Jimmy fights back and hits him with a super kick, and then Roman goes down, and then Jay Uso, man, like, you got to commit, bro. Like, you're either in or out, because you did the same thing to Sami Zayn. Like, what you doing, man? Like, what you doing? What he was yelling at Jimmy, like, what you doing? And then Jimmy grabs him and says, I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago. And he shoves Jay, and he super kicks Roman again. And then that sets up for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to hit their finishers. Solo Sikoa takes the pinfall loss, and Sami leaves Saudi Arabia and still tag team champions with his partner in crime, Kevin Owens. And so now it's just, we got to know what's next for the Bloodline. Are they reloading? Are they completely done? Where does Solo stand in all this? What's going to happen with Roman Reigns? He celebrates 1,000 days on Friday, so I'm sure there's going to be a big moment there. And I'm sure he's probably going to be pissed after everything that happened. But this was phenomenal storytelling from start to finish. My only gripe, and I said this in our predictions, and I'm going to stand by it now. Roman Reigns, I think, should have taken the pinfall. He should have taken the pin. I think it would have meant more. I think it would have meant more to Sami Zayn and meant more for Sami Zayn to have that notch in his belt a little bit, saying, like, especially if they are moving on from the Bloodline, like, hey, I pinned Roman Reigns, and now we the ones, because Kevin Owens had the We the One shirt that pinned it, officially crumbled the Bloodline, and I pinned him. And you want to talk about storytelling? It's all poetic justice. At Montreal, where Sami Zayn wrestled Roman Reigns in the main event, it wasn't Jay who attacked Sami. It was Jimmy who attacked Sami, letting Roman get the pinfall on him. You flash forward 3 months later, and it's Jimmy who attacks Roman. And then I thought it would have been a perfect little touch to have Sami pin Roman because of Jimmy to retain his title. So I thought it would have been cool storytelling, but I think Roman should have taken the pin. But other than that, I thought it was great.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it should have happened. And the way they ended the match, it should have happened, because it wasn't even accidental. It was Jimmy did it on purpose. So you had an out. And what I didn't like was that after the match, KO and Sami were like backstage partying about how Roman finally lost, how they finally got their comeuppance. Well, no. And Roman lost in a tag team match with Sami Zayn. So this isn't even the first time Roman's, this isn't the first time Roman's taken an L because of somebody else. So that doesn't even make sense. How is that you guys getting comeuppance for him beating you both in a, like, because you took away the tag team titles from him? Is that what it is? But why not have Roman take that L? That would have built up. That would have made Roman so much more mad on Friday that he's like, not only did you like kick me and betray me, you gave me my first loss in like 5 years, bro. Like, it could have, like, so I don't know, but Roman did say there's going to be people there. He said elders or whatever else. So I am excited and intrigued on Friday on if Jimmy and Jay are part of it, or if is this like a accident, or are we getting the Bloodline wolf pack? Like, what's happening here? I don't know. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know what's going on with the Bloodline, but I'm intrigued, and at least now we got it going, because now I feel like sooner or later, I mean, and we're going to do some predictions in our segments of how this is going to work or where we're going in the future. But obviously we're getting Solo, we're getting Roman versus Jimmy J, but who is it going to be? And what the intriguing thing is, the nice use you're making Jimmy a part of it too. Now it's Jimmy and Jay. So maybe Jay isn't going to be the one to dethrone Roman. Maybe Roman is going to lose it to Cody after Cody wins Money in the Bank. Maybe that is finishing the story, because Sami and KO have now defeated the Bloodline to break them up. That was their goal. Then they're going to break up, and at the end will be maybe Cody winning the belt and them turning on on Roman. But I think after this, because this is done so early, I don't see Roman having the belt at Mania anymore. I think that's done. I think Roman loses it at SummerSlam probably, but we'll see. But I did like it. Great way to end the show. You texted me holy shit, and that was it. And I hadn't even watched it yet. That was a holy shit moment because I didn't see it coming. I didn't think that's what was going to happen, especially coming from Jimmy. So, and not only that, but the fact that he did it twice, and that they saw Roman just like sat at the end of the ring, like literally like in shock, like he was like upset, like he was legitimately sad as KO and Sammy were celebrating in the background. So it was all good stuff. I mean, like I said, this Bloodline storyline still is the greatest storyline to ever happen. So in our wrestling business. So
yeah, it is. All of it was great, and
it was.
Yeah, and kudos to Sammy and KO. I mean, those guys are, if they're done with the Bloodline and they're officially moving on,
They should be. Yeah.
Talk about an amazing chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and especially for Sammy to be a part of the Bloodline, and then you get kicked out, and now you help them crumble. I mean, that's what I think. That's what a lot of people wanted Cody to do, but I'm glad Sammy was the one to do it. I think it made more sense that way.
Good stuff. It was good stuff. All right, let's go to the other paper, or the other premium live event. That is Battleground NXT. My boy HBK bringing the heat, and I'm going to talk about a random match. I didn't watch a lot of NXT UK, so I'd never seen this. We made fun of this, that there was like an AEW title where, Noam Bar or whatever is coming out with his Heritage Cup, and now he defends it. And I didn't know there were special rules to this, so I guess how this match works is that they're trying to mix it with like MMA, which I don't like when we try to mix like wrestling with like real fighting and so on. I mean, I just think it's too close to home, but they literally had cornermen. Okay. So it was 6 rounds, 3 minutes each. And then I think they had a break of like 30 seconds. It wasn't a minute. It was like 30-second breaks where the guy gives him water and like hand job to like motivate him to like get back into it. Was so weird. And I guess Noam had somebody who was whatever his name is, had somebody who they were beefing with before, I guess. I didn't even know. But anyway, basically at the end of the 6th round, if you win, if you get a pin, then the round's over. The ends of 3 minutes. So you can't get like a bunch of wins in that round. You can't get like multiple pins or submissions. But if you get nothing, then it just moves on at 0-0. So basically at the end of the 6th, if it's a tie, the champion keeps the belt. So if it's 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. So basically how this worked was that Noam went up, or Noam Dar. Noam Dar. Dar went up 2-1 in the 5th. And so basically they just ended it because the 6th was unnecessary, because even if Dragon Lee won, then we move on. I like that it was different. I like that NXT UK brought something else, but it wasn't for me. I thought it was lame. I thought 3 minutes was way too quick. It wasn't like a good kind of rushed either. It kind of felt like meh. I don't know. It didn't seem like the crowd was that into it. And we still had to get like a cheap finish, even in a 3 minute, like 6-round match or whatever. I don't know. I felt like the crowd was confused. I don't think they explained the rules good enough or well enough to everybody, even the people watching. It was kind of like a hot mess, in my opinion. And also, I want to bring up Dragon Lee's tights. I don't know if you noticed it, but those tights, like wrestlers, it's like Matt Riddle's new ones. Like sometimes they have the tights and they're just like a little bit longer. And now Matt Riddle has ones that are just like, it looks like it's like those uncomfortable Speedos you see people wearing at the beach. You're like, why is that old man wearing those Speedos?
Yeah.
Dragon Lee Speedos
in the locker room.
Yeah, like bro, dude, I wouldn't even wear those under my pants. Like these like Speedos were like up his butt. Like every time he like got up to do a move, all I saw was Dragon Lee cheeks. It was get a new outfit, Dragon Lee. I don't know what is going on with it, but you can get tight. If you got that big of a booty, bro, like get some bigger tights then. Like even it's like what girl does that? One of these girls wrestle. She has like a big old my girl Jade Cargill. She wears like full like huge ones because her butt's so big. Like they would just be up her butt the whole time. So she has bigger like spandex. Like come on, Dragon Lee, get with it. But I thought the match was okay. They had good chemistry, I guess. But I was taken. I wish it would have just been a normal match. I don't get why there would be different rules.
I think that's the corner I'm in. I think it was good. Yes. Was it confusing? Yes. That was kind of how I was. I was like, okay, so they're just ending it after, and they did a good job explaining it. But when they ended it after the 5th, because it was 2-1, I was like, okay, like they're just ending. Like I was like, huh?
Yeah.
And it made sense when they explained it. But I was like, okay, well, I thought this was going 6, but anyway, it was
But did the crowd know that? That's the thing too.
Yeah.
Remember, people in the live audience probably didn't know.
No, they didn't. They probably weren't aware, and they were probably just as confused as I was at home. So, you know, I do wish it was just a normal match. I applaud WWE for creativity and trying to be different, but sometimes you just got to keep it simple. And I think this match would have been great with as just a normal match with two high flyers, and you can have those guys in their corner still, and people that they're beefing with. And, just make it a normal match. But I applaud them for being different. But yeah, this match as a whole kind of missed for me.
It was like the House of Black match, which we'll talk about on Friday. But it's like the rules. I'm just like, hey, what's going on with these rules? So yes, sir.
Oh man. And then for me, I want to talk about Tiffany Stratton beating Lyra Valkyria. I just imagine like Vince McMahon in a room somewhere, sitting there on the phone. He's like, okay, who does AEW have wrestling for their title? Oh, we have Taya Valkyrie. Okay, well let's get Lyra Valkyria. Just because we're different. Like I get those two names mixed up all the time. But Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton in the finals of the Women's Championship tournament. And I think the right person won. Tiffany Stratton won. I think we all kind of saw that coming. I think we predicted that. I thought the match itself was okay. It didn't really blow my socks off or anything. I thought the cage match that opened NXT on Tuesday night was far better than this women's title match, which kind of says a lot about the JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. But yeah, this match, it was okay. I mean, there's really not much I can say about it. I think the right person won. Yeah, I'm glad to see Tiffany Stratton get an opportunity with the NXT Women's Championship, and hopefully they keep it on somebody for a little bit of time now. The way they took it off. I mean, Mandy Rose lost it in a shocking way, and then Roxanne Perez lost it because she like fainted in the ring, and then. What was the other girl that just won it at NXT Stand and Deliver? Indy Hartwell, yeah. She won it, and then she relinquished it because they drafted her to Monday Night Raw. So,
although she's injured, that was a weird way to say it too, because the tag team champs didn't vacate, so I'm confused.
But. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton, I think she'll be a good champion, and hopefully they let her hold it for a while. I think she can bring some stability back to that women's championship because I think it's needed.
I agree, but I also think it showed it that, like I said, I thought it was too early. I thought it should have been Cora Jade because the match, she's still slow. She still is like timing some of her moves, and look. And here's the thing, right? She's got a hot body. I get it. Her face is whatever. She got a hot body. But her promos aren't that great. I think Cora Jade's promos are better. Cora Jade's a pretty girl as well. And I mean, I don't know. I think they're just trying to Mandy Rose it up again. And her finisher is good. I like her flip moons that she does. Her finisher is good. I'll give her that. And I know NXT is developmental, so you're trying to develop these people so they're going to be green a little bit. But I just think if you're going to pick a bad guy, Cora Jade would have been perfect for that. But I'll give Tiffany Stratton a chance, and we'll see where she goes with it. So, I mean, the right person won out of the two, so it needed to be Stratton. Valkyria couldn't have won that match. That would have made no sense. So,
yeah. So, I was happy. I think you're right, though. Cora Jade should have been the person, and I'm surprised that she didn't make it as far as, I think she lost in the semifinals or whatever. But, Tiffany Stratton is the right person. Yeah,
he's a good antagonist. So yeah. All right, and let's see here. Let's go to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, and I want to talk about the best faction in the WWE. They announced that with the Bloodline being no more. Is basically they said they are the ones who are running not just Raw but all of professional wrestling. That's the Judgment Day, and they have been booked so solid the last few weeks. We have been praising them, saying, finally, this is how you're supposed to do it. Whether they cheat to win or what, they're getting wins. Finn's getting wins. Priest is looking like a monster, even though he lost to a pop singer. Dom's been getting wins. Rhea is the most dominant champ. She just squashed Natalya literally, I think, in 7 seconds at Night of Champions. She's going she lifted up Dom like she had won like the Dom, and she carried Dom around. They're like killing it. We open up with Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. And I guess AJ Styles now can appear wherever he wants. So he came out, although he mentioned that he was from SmackDown. And they start making out
Free
and
agent.
kissing. Yeah, free, I guess. Yeah. So they start having their little kissing show. And then out comes the Judgment Day to interrupt. And basically, Rhea is like, look, we're going to take these belts. We're going to take this belt from you, one of us. And Finn was like, I think it could be Damian Priest. And Damian Priest was like, oh, Finn, I think it would be you. And then Finn looked over at Rhea, and Rhea was like, well, it can't be me. So I think it could be my Dom. And this was the beginning of the end of making Judgment Day seem serious, as AJ and Seth looked at each other and laughed hysterically. Dom still getting massive heat. Every time he looked at the mic, he was getting booed. Dom did counter and said, well, I just beat you, AJ. So, and AJ looked at Seth like, well, all right, he got me there. So I thought it was stupid for him to laugh anyway. If you just lost to the guy, how are you laughing at him being, I don't know. But I just made him look. And basically they said, we want to wrestle you guys in a tag team match at the end, which makes no sense. So then our boy Adam Pearce called God. I don't know who he called, Vince, Triple H, a Fox executive, to make sure that it's okay that somebody under contract for WWE could wrestle at a WWE show because he's SmackDown, not Raw. Obviously he can, because we don't care about the draft anymore. We've literally thrown that out the window. So especially since the SmackDown Women's Champion is on Raw. So they have the match, and we don't know who's going to come out. And they actually did a good little thing with that, because they all came out in the ring gear, even Rhea. But it looked like Dom was about to start the match, and then we got Finn Balor and Damian Priest. But this is what I'm talking about is, once again, this match was 100% unnecessary. Like, it shouldn't have happened. We didn't need AJ and Seth being best friends. AJ needed to move on. He's a SmackDown competitor. We didn't need Judgment Day losing. So why put them together if this is what you're going to do? Why are you going to have Seth, like, and you even had an out to where they were about to pin AJ, which, why can't AJ lose on Raw? What's wrong with Judgment Day? That wouldn't have hurt Seth at all if AJ took the L. You literally just took all this momentum you have with Judgment Day and them claiming that they are the new like the best faction in the world, and they take an L right away. Please explain to me this booking and why this main event was even necessary. I have no idea what the heck Triple H was thinking here, having Judgment Day lose again.
You got me. I got nothing. I don't like. It was stupid to have AJ on there in the first place.
Yes.
It just, that was stupid to have him on there. And then of course, he's like, I'm not supposed to be here tonight. That's the first thing he said out of his mouth. I know I'm on SmackDown. And then in the backstage, you're like, did you bring your gear? He's like, of course I brought my gear.
I'm a professional.
And I'm like, you weren't supposed to be there. So why would you bring your, like, I'm gonna bring my gym bag to a place I'm not supposed to be. Like, what? Like, I'm gonna bring it to the library.
Yep. Just in case that 24/7 title.
You never know. But man, like, Dom is still super over. He's still the biggest heel in all of wrestling. The crowd does not want to cheer for him, and every time he holds the mic up to his mouth, he's getting berated with boos, and it happened again this week. I did like his comeback that, hey, I beat you. And AJ was like, all right, well, you got me. So, yeah. But it was, and then for them to lose. And I also didn't like the whole story of the night of which members of Judgment Day are going to wrestle Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Like, just tell us, like it didn't do anything to.
Well, they lost.
It's going to be Dom. It looks like it's going to be Dom and Damian Priest. And then, Dom's out there as a decoy so Finn Balor can attack Seth Rollins from behind. And I don't know.
Lose.
Just to lose. Yeah. And I thought it was it's stupid. It was bad. Judgment Day's great, and they need to book them solid. They had them on a winning streak there. They had them doing really good things. And now I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they keep doing this 50-50 booking with them, and they'll probably win next week and probably win the following week, and then they'll lose 4 in a row or something. You can't. It's hard to take a team serious. It's hard to take a faction seriously when they constantly are up and down, up and down, up and down. The reason why people love the Bloodline so much or hate the Bloodline because they're divided is because they win all the time. People
don't lose. Yep.
People hate the Golden State Warriors because they win all the time. People hate the Lakers because they win all the time. The Celtics, they win all the time. People didn't like Michael Jordan because he won all the time.
Tom Brady.
He won all the time. And so if you want, and you have the biggest heel in your company right now, in the whole sport, in Dom, you should be building them up and having them win over and over and over, especially if you're going to let them use the slogan that they run Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run something if you're losing
all the time.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
Yeah. No, none whatsoever. But moving on from them, let's talk KO and Sammy again, because these guys, KO is still a national treasure. We talked about Sammy being a national treasure. He gets fired up over the tiniest things, and and this promo was fire. I love seeing fired up KO, and over the littlest thing. I mean, he was like, he broke the code. He broke the code. You're not supposed to do that. He broke the code. He's yelling because the Imperium interrupted him. He's like, we didn't even call you out. You just came out and interrupted. But yeah, I mean, the littlest thing set him off, and even Sammy was just like having to hold him back, and it's just like, dude, like, you're here, like, bring it down to here. It was, I mean, these guys are, I just feel like KO and Sammy, like, I could go and have a beer with them and shoot the breeze, and we'd have a hell of a time. And I think they're just normal people, and yeah, I loved it. But one thing that I was confused about, Alpha Academy, are they baby faces now? I know Otis was always kind of a baby face. The crowd always seemed to love him. But is Chad Gable now a baby face? And when did Maxine Dupree just ditch the Maximum Male Models? Because she came out with Otis, but now she's part of the Alpha Academy. Because and her and Chad Gable are getting along. So are we just like, or is that still? She was
wearing his shirt.
Yeah. And then KO was like, hey guys, hey, do the thing. And they come out and he does the shush for like what seemed like a long time. I was like,
like an
man.
hour. Yeah.
I was like, it was like at least 30. It was at least 30 Mississippis, but he just kept holding it. And then
he did the thank you.
Yeah, and then they did, and then at the end he was like, do the thing, and they said thank you, and then they they had a match with Imperium that Imperium ended up winning. But
which they should have,
yeah, I'm glad that they did. And KO and Sammy were on commentary. Kevin Owens, for those who didn't watch, he had a We the One shirt on. I thought it was a nice little added touch. I love Sammy's promo about they are the reasons that the Bloodline is no more, and that we told Roman to his face he couldn't have the tag team titles, and we delivered. So I thought the whole promo was great. I'm glad they're moving on to the Bloodline, off the Bloodline, and I think Imperium is a perfect opponent, and I'm glad that they're winning. They're getting what the Judgment Day should be getting, which is the winning treatment. And I loved all of it. But the only thing I was confused about was Alpha Academy. All of a sudden, they're baby faces. Maxine Dupree and Chad Gable are BFFs now. Otis has always been over, and it was just confusing.
It was, and hopefully, we continue with Imperium. I mean, obviously, they're not going to beat KO and Sammy, but they should. We were just talking about this, that you can't just have Gunther be the only dominant force in the faction. You can't just have people with you. Your lackeys suck. You need to have them strong as well. And Imperium's good.
That's kind of how Judgment Day is, if you think about it. With Rhea.
Now, but yeah, Judgment Day, 100%. Rhea and all her lackeys lose all the time, except Dom. He's been winning. But they, I did like that they called out that we hear you talk, we hear ears talk. But what about Baldy? And then they're like, Baldy, talk, or what? Baldy, Baldy. And he refused to still talk. But I thought that was funny. All of it was good. I liked it too, though, when he talked about how the name drop, and Sammy was like, well, in fairness, guys, I mean, we didn't name drop you, so you're not supposed to come out. I do like that he does like help out KO's like angriness, and and I love that KO and Sammy now are just so above everything. Like, they just bring up things that you think about while you watch wrestling that is never mentioned. So they're bringing up all of that, like not breaking the fourth wall, but in a sense, giving us kind of that insight. So I do love it. I love this segment. I'm all for KO and Sammy being done with the Bloodline. Let's move on. And Imperium is a fantastic thing. And I think it'll just lead to one of them wrestling Gunther at one point.
Speaking of, it looks like Matt Riddle's going to be the man up for Gunther. Continue in the KO, Sammy, and Riddle trio.
Yeah,
Gunther and
maybe that's who's going to do it while they're battling the tag teams. But I did like that Gunther. He brings up the fact that dude loves his secondary. He's not like Austin Theory over here. He's trying to win other belts. Gunther he thinks that IC belt is the belt. He calls it the IC heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
He doesn't mess around, and that he basically told him, like, win that Money in the Bank and come challenge me. So they're keeping that trend going again. I don't know why anybody would win a Money in the Bank contract and not go for a heavyweight title, but I like that he came out and is basically saying, why go after Seth when my title is like more prestigious? So I love that Gunther is like really making that second. I mean, that's how it was in the days. Brett, Mr. Perfect, Macho Man, Rick Rude, like the Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, like Razor Ramon, like these people, the IC title was like the best belt because the champion was always like a Roman Reigns, where it was like, okay, you knew they're going to win, but let's focus on this because this is all the good wrestlers who are like built. You know what I mean? Not to take away from Roman, but that's how it was. Champ was always that guy. IC belts were all the working man.
And if you want to get technical, technically speaking, the Intercontinental Championship is a world championship.
Yes.
There's 7 continents and it's so technically he's a world champion.
Nice. Gunther, the Ring General.
They did that again. They did that again this week. And the Ring General. Yeah, they did that again.
General.
One thing too is on commentary, Kevin Owens was very they were hysterical on commentary. Those guys do commentary every single week. And one thing was Kevin Owens was like, wipe your sweat off, and the guy literally like is in the ring
and threw it on him. He heard him, obviously.
I'm like, okay. I was like, all right.
Baldy.
I thought that was a nice touch. Baldy, like after all that smacky talk, he's like, wipe your sweat off, and he just does it, and it was good. It was all good stuff, and KO and Sammy are super over right now, and those guys they can't do no wrong right now.
It was definitely the highlight of Monday Night Raw. Another thing I liked about, we'll go back to my girl, the goddess, Trish, Becky, and Starks had a promo. Trish comes out in her ring gear, and I was kind of confused. I'm like, why is she in her ring gear again? Like, you're not in Saudi anymore. But she came out in her ring gear, but it was zipped all the way down. She was like, I'm not in Saudi anymore, so I'm going to wear the same ring gear, but my boobs are going to be falling out of my top. So she came out in that. Thank you, Trish. She had a huge bruise on her face. She calls out Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark comes out in a thank you, Trish shirt, praises Trish, talks about how she's the best. Trish cut another phenomenal promo. They're clowning Becky Lynch. Out comes Becky Lynch in her ring gear. And then I'm like, okay, what is like, did they like not pack anything when they left in Saudi? But
AJ brought his, so you got to be ready.
You got to be ready. But I thought they would wear their normal ring gear. But I did like that Becky brought up, it was the whole, like, we're both still in our ring gear. So I guess they just haven't showered since Saturday. So they literally were about to go wrestle, and Becky got the upper hand, and then Zoe Starks put her in that move again. They put her down. They went to put the thank you Trish shirt on top of her. And Becky Lynch, I think, out of character, stayed in character by like fighting it for a second. I don't think that was planned because they were like too far from the turnbuckle. So they tried to drag her. And I guess Becky was like, all right, well, I'm going to fight this. And then they like pummeled her a couple more times, put the shirt over her. Trish was like taking pictures. I mean, if you're not loved, this is the best thing going on in female wrestling right now. I don't care what anybody says. Trish is money right now. She's a legend. Zoe Starks is a perfect muscle. Becky's selling it perfectly. This was the right way to go. Obviously, it's going to go Trish, Becky when this is all said and done and they're ending at SummerSlam. Or maybe it's just going to go Trish, Becky, just Starks, and then Becky. But either way, we're building this nicely, telling a story. I love it. Second favorite part on Monday Night Raw. So,
are you gonna buy the thank you Trish shirt?
Oh, I already have it in my car. Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a must. Yeah.
No, what they're doing. I mean, when Trish first came back, and they were putting her with Lita and Becky. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but I was also kind of like, okay, like she's not gonna be around after WrestleMania. It's just that WrestleMania, wow factor, the throwback wrestler, and I mean the work that she's done since Mania and beyond is nothing short of spectacular. And this is, like you said earlier, this was a woman that hasn't had a singles match since the early 2000s, and she's killing it right now. She's an amazing heel. And I also thought people love Trish so much that I didn't think they would be able to boo her. Similar to like when Stone Cold he turned heel after turning on Vince McMahon, and fans still cheered for him every time he came out. And The Rock, when he was Hollywood Rock, he would do Finally, and everyone was like, The Rock has come back. Like, because people just love these guys as baby faces, and that's how I thought Trish was. And I thought it would be hard to cheer against her, but man, she's killing it as a heel right now. And I think she's definitely top 3 heels in WWE, if not in all of wrestling. So she's dominant.
Oh, it's definitely Dom, Christian, and Trish. And Trish is doing it right because she's not giving the crowd a chance to like her and her persona. Nobody likes a cocky person, right? Nobody likes a person who's full. And even though Trish is everything she's saying is a fact, people don't like that. You know what I mean? People don't want to hear about how sexy you are and how hot you are and how perfect you are. So it's like she's just doing it right, and she doesn't give the crowd a chance to like her. So yeah.
No, she's killing
This is her best run.
Yeah, I think so.
She's a Hall of Famer, so
yeah, I think so. And she's still got it, man. She's you talk about a perfect time to chant. You still got it in more ways than one. She's still got it, and she is she's money right now.
I agree.
And now let's end with another not questionable decision, but just a questionable match in general. Some of the booking of this match made no sense to me, but the women's tag team championships that were the women's, the 4-way match that took place on Monday Night Raw, because Liv Morgan is hurt. And so Raquel Rodriguez had to get a new partner somehow,
but lose the belts.
She loses the belts, but has to get a new partner, which made no sense. And then she gets to compete in the 4-way with her new partner for these tag titles. So it's just what? And then
it's just what?
Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi, and like Shotzi came back again, and she drove a tank again, and it's just okay. And then she takes the L.
Of course.
Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, Bayley and Io Sky from WWE Friday Night SmackDown made an appearance on Monday Night Raw. And then Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, who I think is probably behind Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, are probably the most legit tag team in that whole division.
Matching ring gear, they look good. Yeah.
And the right people won. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey were the right people to win this match, but just the booking of this made no sense. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez lost her partner, and plus, how many partners are they going to give Raquel? I mean, she won the first tag titles with Aaliyah, and now Aaliyah's nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, she's partners with Liv Morgan, and they're women's tag team champions, and now it's Shotzi. It's just, you talk about worst friend ever. Like, she just goes from person to person and just is like, you want to be my partner? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to be my partner? Okay. But no, I thought the match was okay. I'm glad Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey got the win. I think they're the right team to win. Like I said, I don't think the crowd really cared all that much, which was unfortunate because, I think Ronda and Shayna are going to bring some legitimacy to that tag division. I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. I don't think anybody's ready to come up to their level. I think they're probably going to hold these titles for quite a while and just just beat down everybody that comes in their way and, make them. Triple H loves long title reigns, as we saw with Gunther and Roman and Bianca Belair. And now, we could have another lengthy title run for the tag team champions as well. So
yeah,
I say let them hold it. But the promo after the match too is I want to talk about, because Ronda Rousey just goes on these crazy just rants, and I'm like, let her, like, first of all, I just want to hear what she has to say, because I'm like, okay, what is she going to say this time? And this week she was talking about I don't even know. She was talking about the fickle wrestling fans in the audience,
which is true.
Yeah, which is very true, and how they don't care about women's wrestling and all this, and we put on a show out there, and Shayna Baszler just basically quoted the lines from her theme song in there, and then it ended with Ronda Rousey saying, like, if you don't believe me, we got these two nuts right, or D's nuts right here. Check out D's nuts right here. And she held up the titles and then walked away, and I was like, did she just drop a D's nuts reference on WWE television?
She 100% did. It's
supposed to be PG, and it's like also the 90s. It's like I'm in the 90s again. So I don't know. I thought it was all good stuff.
Nuts. Yeah. And why were the belts D's nuts? Because is that like their sack? Because they're like the champs? I didn't.
Yes. I don't
didn't
know.
get it. I thought the match itself was pretty good for the mix of tag team and the mix of women's chemistry and everything else.
Oh, yeah,
Raquel and
Dakota
Dakota Kai, yes, they were, because Dakota Kai turned on Raquel. So, yeah. I mean, I like the match. This is the right people to win. And the reason why is because you continue to push them the right way. It doesn't matter who they go up against. Big opponent, small opponent, strong. These two girls are real fighters and they're real like BAs. And I can see them having a title for a while and just wrecking people. And I think that's what's going to make this good. We've yet to have a successful women's tag team champion in WWE ever. So this is, I think, it. I think this is the time. Ronda's that person. They need to keep pushing her the way. I think the D's nuts reference is to push her annoyances. The crowd hate her. They think she's out of touch and this and that. And I think that's what they need to keep going. And I like that it's like a Ronda, even though she could probably beat up Shayna and beat up most people, that she does kind of like the talking and then Shayna does the beating up. I think they should keep going with that too, to kind of push them both. But I'm all for it. The match was fine. Shotzi is what it is. And Raquel needs to move on. But I like it. And I think Chelsea Green and why am I forgetting her name? My
Sonya
homegirl,
Deville.
Sonya Deville, needs to be a little bit more important, not be such a laughing stock, because they're a good team too. And like I said, they look good. They have good chemistry. They have matching ring gear now. Let's build this division up under Ronda and Shayna. And I know fans are going to be like, oh, Ronda, ooh, boo-hoo. Let's not give her this is good, wrestling fans. This is good. This is going to help elevate this division. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree. And I think the line that she said was, and I just pulled it up. She said, "We demand to be recognized as the best, and D's nuts prove it." And she held up the title.
Oh, is that and D's nuts prove it? There you go.
I don't know. Like at first I was like, did she really say that? And then I was like, wait, did she mean to say that? Was that like a botch? Did she?
No, because she even said like D's nuts prove.
Yeah,
like,
and then I watched it a couple of times, and I was like, all right, she meant to say that. And
D's nuts.
Yeah, but I felt like I was in elementary school all over again.
For sure. For sure. All right. D's nuts. Well, speaking of D's nuts, let's move on to NXT, where I want to talk about, you talk about elevating a division and elevating. We talked about NXT last week, and I said how there was a couple people that needed to go to NXT. And once again, either I'm psychic, which I'm not, or the WWE listens to our podcast secretly and is not taking credit. Same thing with AEW, because I feel like every time we talk it into the world, it happens. It's WWE now all the time. The two people I said that needed to go to NXT literally were on NXT this week. And I want to talk about Carmelo Hayes beating Dar at the end, celebrating. They even did the NXT, like WWE credit thing, trademark. It's all over. From behind, Baron freaking Corbin comes from behind, takes him out, throws him in, does probably, in my opinion, the best finisher in all of wrestling. Should have never been kicked out of, but he allowed one person to do it. Hits the end of days, stands over him with the belt. This is what I'm freaking talking about. And I'm going to say this right now because we don't have much time to talk about NXT. I'm going to say it because I'm a huge Carmelo Hayes fan. I'm saying it right now. Baron Corbin needs to win. Carmelo Hayes will move on to the bigger show, and let's have Baron Corbin be the champion, build himself back up, and build a young star to beat him in the end. Kind of like Dolph did with Braun Breaker. I think Baron Corbin needs to win this belt and shine in NXT, be that person that he should be because he is the most underrated wrestler of all time, and then get that push, lose a belt to a new up-and-comer in about 7 months, and then move back over to the big show. That's what I'm saying right now. WWE, you listen. Triple H, you're welcome. Take it and go with it.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement there. I think Baron Corbin can be money, and I'm curious to see what gimmick he brings to NXT.
It better be the lone wolf. Yeah,
I hope so. Don't have anybody with him. Don't make him sad Corbin or happy Corbin. Just make him be beat down Corbin or something. Yeah. Just beat down everybody. And yeah, I loved it. It was I didn't see it coming. I really thought I really thought that this was going to be the night Trick Williams turned on Carmelo Hayes. That's what I was thinking the whole night, and then I was like, yep, he's going to do it after this match. Just wait. And then all of a sudden out came Baron Corbin to take him out. And yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect spot for him.
Yeah, I agree. What's Patrick's? Hopefully he doesn't go the Mandy route and start an OnlyFans while he's champ there.
Can't have that. Can't
I
have
mean,
that.
and I totally wouldn't buy it. All right, let's keep going.
No, not at all. But yeah, and let's talk about
He
Ali.
does barbecue, so he could have one. Have you seen his TikTok? He does a huge barbecue thing. He could do that. Never mind. I'm giving now. He's going to take that.
Wearing just the apron.
Just the apron, yeah, with like a hole cut out. He's flipping burgers with his sauce.
Oh man!
All right, let's keep going.
All right.
It's this PG. Let's go. Yeah.
There goes Baron Corbin's push, by the way. Now, if they are listening, they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
There goes Baron.
He's
the lone wolf, huh?
The grill master, Baron Corbin.
Watch my lone wolf go to work. All right, let's.
But let's talk about Mustafa Ali.
The other one. All right.
Which, like, I loved it, and then I hated it. Then I kind of liked it, and then I hated it again.
Okay.
Because when he first came out, I was like, "Oh, like he's in the crowd." Like, and I love that the action going on in the ring with Wesley and all the other guys. They kind of stopped what they were doing and looked in the ring, so you could tell like it was a big deal that something was going on in the crowd. And then they panned over, and it's Mustafa Ali in the audience coming down to the ring. And then I'm just like, okay, like that's cool. And then he climbs in the ring, and then they go to commercial, and we come back, and he's on commentary. And I'm like, okay, so like, can I do that? Can I just climb the ring? Because, he's not supposed to be there. He's technically a free agent. I'm technically a free agent. And I can climb the ring, climb the barricade, and go to get on commentary with Booker T. And but so I was a little confused at that. I'm hoping he cut a promo during the commercial break or something to explain that he was there. Because if you had him come out and then just to go on commentary, that crowd's like, what the heck is going on? Like, what's he doing here? And then I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go after Wes Lee, and that's going to be a hell of a match for them. It's going to be a good thing. Then after the match, he like helps Wes Lee and raises his hand, and I'm like, well, what? Like, what's going on? So I loved it, and then I hated it, and then I kind of liked it, and then he's also dropped the positive Ali gimmick too. So that was done anyway. Yeah. Is he back to being just retribution style Ali? Because to me that was the best Ali that was
by far. Yep.
But like I don't know what they're doing with Ali. I'm intrigued, and I want to see what they do going forward. But this was a guy that just wrestled Gunther at Night of Champions on Saturday, and he shows up in NXT on Tuesday, and it was a little confusing, and especially how they did it. But I'm glad that he's in NXT. I think it's a right spot for him.
I'm going to do the same thing with Baron Corbin. I think he comes in, he's making it look like he's Wesley's friend. He's going to turn on Wesley, become a heel, and win that North American title and push that division until somebody beats him as well, and Wesley moves on. Another person who's ready. Wesley and Carmelo Hayes are ready for the big show. Move them both over. Let these guys come in, build their careers again, get a name again like Mandy Rose would have if she didn't do what Patrick said and got an OnlyFans, because she would have been a star right now on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Build them back up again and do that. So I think they need to do the same thing. I liked it. I didn't like the way they did it. I thought it was stupid. But if it goes to him turning heel, which he should, retribution, like he was a heel then. It was the best way they did it. And I think that guy's in NXT right now, right? The big guy who was in Retribution. Wasn't he?
One of them.
He's in it. So either way, start a crew again.
The other one's in Maximum Male Models. So
well, he ain't doing anything anymore. So unless he comes out of the Alpha Academy too. But yeah.
But
thank you.
Yeah. I think Ali, he's been cutting some like weird promos, I guess, on Instagram or Twitter or something, where he's done some video things saying that, if I can't be champion, I don't deserve to be here, and all these things that he said it somewhere on social media. And then he lost to Gunther. So I think NXT is the perfect landing spot. And I think you're right. I think he's going to turn on Wesley and win that title. And we're going to have the two top champions in NXT be main roster guys.
I agree, and that's how it should be. That's how you elevate young talent too, because when they finally beat you, like when whoever beats Roman, you get that rub. So, all right, man, that was a long weekend review. We did it. We did it. And now we're going to do a new segment kind of this week. Do you have a thing for it? Should I wait? Should we end it?
I don't have any. No,
all right. So basically what we're going to do is that whenever we finish a main card, so for AEW, WWE, NXT, we can do it for both. WWE, because NXT's next once in a while. We're going to try to predict a few matches for the next one. So we just had Night of Champions. So let's do some Money in the Bank projections. Who do we think in these who do we think is going to wrestle at Money in the. We don't got to talk about SummerSlam. We don't got to do a bill. We can just do Money in the Bank. You say a few, I say a few. We didn't go over this. We might have the same ones. Who knows? You start as always with the segments. What do you think? What's a few matches you think should or going to happen at Money in the Bank?
I think we get another tag team match between Roman and Solo teaming together against Jimmy and Jey Uso, and that's the main event. Yet it's going to be another event where Roman doesn't defend his titles, but he's still going to main event. So I definitely think we're getting that. I think we're going to get Matt Riddle against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. They seem to plant those seeds, and then I think we'll get Sami Zayn and KO against Imperium.
All right, who's going to win Money in the Bank? I know they haven't. The first two people aren't. That's what I know for sure.
Yeah, it's Shinsuke and
Ricochet.
Ricochet. Yeah, they're not winning.
No.
Who's in it on SmackDown? That's what.
Have they show? Yeah, but we're still getting more. There's going to be 6 of them, right? At least. Or are they going to do 7? I don't know, but.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see. I'm sure
up. Umos will be in it at one point, but who do you think?
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be in it, apparently.
So you think it's Cody?
I don't think. I think we'll get. I think he'll be in the match, and then Brock Lesnar will come out and cost him the match, setting up Brock Cody 3 at SummerSlam.
All right. So I had the same ones you did, so I'll switch it up. I'm gonna try to think of some other ones here. I'm gonna do. Let's do Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Let's do this at Money in the Bank because I think that's a good. Raquel needs something else to do now. I don't think she's going to keep teaming up with Shotzi, and I think that's a good stiff win for Rhea Ripley. If you know what I mean. Let's do Becky Lynch versus Zoe Starks. I think this is going to be the in between for SummerSlam. So let's do them two wrestling each other.
And Zoe Starks gets the win.
Zoe Starks. Oh yeah, for sure, but she won't. It'll be Becky Lynch, but yeah. And we got to have some kind of Judgment Day in here, right? Because I think the 3 matches you said are for sure going to happen. I'm also gonna go Cody Rhodes with the Money in the Bank winner, although I would love it to be Dom Dom because I think he's the most over heel, and I think you can have him do that for a year, and you can have Cody win Royal Rumble to get his title match against Roman. So you don't need, unless Roman loses at SummerSlam, but. Because I can picture Cody winning and then Dom cashing in on Cody. I think that would be cool. And Dominic Mysterio being that guy to take it from Cody, maybe retire, and then having a Rey versus Dominic title match, title versus retirement versus career. I mean, you could do so much with it. And I think Dom's a person who could have, Miz had it for a while when he was that popular and he wasn't somebody who people were afraid of. But I would love to see Dom win it, but I think they're probably going to give it to Cody Rhodes. He's good in the ladder matches anyway. I'm trying to think of who else because we got SmackDown too. We didn't see a lot of it. Yeah. How about Seth Rollins? We're going to have Seth Rollins wrestle someone.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins will wrestle Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight.
I was going to say somebody needs because that'll be a good first win because he can't have Priest lose again.
Yeah, and then I think Damian Priest and Dom will be in the Money in the Bank match.
Both of them. Ooh.
Yeah, to compete in. And maybe that's how Cody Rhodes, he yet again overcomes these 2 obstacles that are working to keep him from winning the title or something.
Yeah.
There's also LA Knight. I don't think he's winning.
He got chanted in Saudi supposedly. Yeah. Cross. This is.
And that was
what? Go ahead.
That was another thing about Night of Champions. Not to sidetrack, but Karrion Kross was in the audience, and they kept panning over to him, and then LA Knight was also in the audience. And it was like, why are they just randomly sitting in the audience? Omos was there too.
I told you it was the losers. Hey, y'all weren't good enough, but we're gonna fly you anyway. So
yeah, and you get a first row seat or front row seats in there. And they didn't even have the best seats in the house either. They panned over here, and the action's over here. So I was just like, this is weird. Why are they doing this right now? Why are they showing us LA Knight? Why are they showing us Karrion Kross? And why are they showing us Omos? It was all bizarre.
I think it was the same seat. I think they just booked that one seat and they were just
probably
bringing them out for the photo op. Yeah, but I thought it was stupid too. I wasn't good enough to make it on the card. Hi, I'm LA Knight. But that's how the Money in the Bank should be. It should be Priest, Dom, Ricochet, LA Knight, Karrion Kross. We need like all these young gunners coming up. That's what Money in the Bank used to be. When Edge won it, he wasn't a star. When CM Punk won it, he wasn't like a star. It was these guys who you knew were going to be stars who needed that elevation. They needed that win, you know, Mr. Kennedy and so on. So I think that's what, you know, it should be. So we'll see. We'll see. Money in the Bank. And we'll do our real predictions, you know, when it gets closer. But
yeah. And do you think with Money in the Bank, Gunther mentioned it on Raw, as we discussed, that, you know, they could go down that road again. Now there's 4 titles, I guess they could cash in on. You have Roman's 2 belts, you have the U.S. title, the Intercontinental Championship, and now you have Seth Rollins in the world and that title. So, do you think they cash in on the mid cards, or do you think they go after the world title again?
You know what? If Dominic Mysterio won it, I can see him doing that. So maybe an Imperium versus Judgment Day. I mean, you know what I mean? Dom taking it out from Gunther. That's a big win. So
I would love
maybe. I think it keeps it intriguing. I just don't get the logic in it. Like, I got it with Theory because he was like, Roman was, you know, he had the bloodline and they were going to attack me and this and that. So there was no point. It was like throwing it away. But, I mean, now when you got like Seth and you got Roman imploding, I mean, I feel like it's a good chance of you winning it. So why would you not go after it? But I don't know. Each its own.
It'll be an interesting event, and
I love Money in the Bank. Yeah,
it's one of my favorites, and I think it's going to be in London, so they're still, you know, doing the crowd's going to be hot yet again. The foreign crowds outside of the U.S. are always on point, and the Saudi crowd brought it, Puerto Rico brought it, and I have no doubt that London will bring it. And it makes me wonder too if they'll bring back like Drew McIntyre or something like that to get that hometown pop, similar to what he got at Clash at the Castle last year. But I don't know what his dealio is.
Thought he was in AEW. Weird. All right.
Yeah, supposedly.
But speaking of AEW, we'll see you in 2 days on Friday because we will be talking AEW, Double or Nothing, and Dynamite. We'll probably skip Rampage. Maybe we'll bring it up. But we got a lot to talk about Double or Nothing and probably Dynamite coming up and what we have in store for Collision and so on. So thank you again for tuning in, commenting. We're back to our kind of normally scheduled time, sort of. We'll keep it going on Friday as well. And as always, keep listening, keep telling your friends, keep subscribing, keep doing whatever you can do. We love you guys. We love that this podcast, we're going to keep posting on TikTok. We'll do better. I promise you. As always, I'm Mr. MW. Oh, and with me is
the Ginger, everyone's favorite Ginger kid, Shooting Star Press. Hit us up on the TikToks. Our ads are right here on the screen at Shooting Star PRS and at My Wrestling Opinion. Our Instagrams are here too. Go hit us up on Apple and Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast, Podbean, Buzzsprout, anywhere you get your podcast. Go hit us up, go listen, go rate us, go review us. The more love we get, the more attention we get, the more exposure we get. So keep it up. Like he said, we love you guys. Appreciate all the support so far. And let's do this damn thing.
Let's do it. As always, thank you. 2 Dudes Wolfpack. Attitude. We out. Let's go.